Alrighty, I want to say welcome to Painted Loud Podcast. This is Jonathan, a singer. We're welcoming him to the podcast, and I have a few questions for him. First, Jonathan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Jonathan. I am the singer of the band Uchikatsu.
Awesome. I wanted to say, first off, thank you so much for joining the podcast. I really appreciate it, especially having different types of artists on the podcast because I'm a visual artist, so I do illustration mainly. So it's good having a lot of singers or musicians and other different types of artists on the podcast as well. I'm very proud of that, trying to bring more of a reach to all different kinds of art. But I wanted to ask first off, how did the band start? Like, how did you guys form? I guess I should say.
Okay, that's a bit of a complicated question. It goes back. We're actually not that. We haven't been around that long. We've only been around for maybe 6 years. Um, Prior to that, everybody in the band was in other bands. So we've been doing this since we were kids, like since we were all like 14. Um, Most of us are in our late 20s, early 30s now. So we've been doing it for a long time. Uh, but the band started, I'd say about pushing 6 years ago now. I had been writing just because that's what I would always do, whether I was in a band or not, just writing ideas down and stuff. And I was kind of in between bands, I guess you'd say. You know what I mean? I didn't really have anything going on, but I had been talking to Lawrence, who's the guitar player of Uchikatsu, who's just an amazing producer, and he was always just very casually like sending me instrumentals and stuff like that he had worked on, and I was blown away. So I would just kind of dabble and applying lyrics and stuff like that, and different like vocal notations, and then sending literally like voice memos, like sending stuff back, like super rudimentary. Uh, and we really liked working together. We really liked working together. But I mean, if you asked his side of the story, he'll say I begged him to make music with him, which is true. Um, because for years I said, one day we should start a band together. One
You're
day we
like,
should
yeah,
start
let's
a
start
band.
a band. Let's start a band.
Yeah, all the time, all the time. I think it was really me who just wasn't pulling the trigger necessarily. My life was just involved in other stuff. I was just doing other things. But then I had a really, without getting too dark, I had a really traumatic event in my life. I lost somebody. It was my dad. And my father and I were really, really close, really, really close. But I lost him under some really gnarly circumstances, and I don't think I knew how to deal with that. And then it would be kind of cliche of me to say, so I wrote it into music. That's not the case. I needed to pour myself into something, and that was what was in front of me. So I started writing. I don't know if I would say with intention. I had no choice now
Yeah,
at this point.
it's not cliche. You went to the only thing you knew
Yeah, it
where to
was.
go,
Yeah,
which was to
yeah,
create.
yeah,
It's the same
exactly.
thing for when I was going through stuff um with my mom.
Yeah,
It's like I just started doing more art because it's the
yeah,
only thing I could do.
yeah. It's
So
organic, right? It just
that's
kind of
yeah.
happens on its own. You
So
don't really
you
get
were
a
dealing
say.
with stuff and you're like I just went through something. Let me
Yeah,
it's you just express yourself in another manner, so it completely makes sense. It's not
yeah,
cliche at all. Like I feel like a lot of artists, that's their way of processing their
yeah,
emotions without like verbally or verbalizing it, I guess. Well, you verbalize it more. With me it's like I'm not as good with verbalizing my emotions, so that's why I
yeah,
create, and I feel
yeah.
like that's how I was able to speak upon my
Right,
art more, was because
right.
I could draw, but I had you
Uh,
asked me anything about it, I didn't know how to say anything
yeah,
about it,
yeah.
you
That
know.
that medium provided the language that
Yeah,
you couldn't
exactly.
necessarily. You're right. I
So
completely
your
understand
medium
that.
is providing all the language that you want to say
Totally. Yeah.
regularly, just in song.
Yeah,
So
screaming it at the top of my
screaming
lungs. Yeah,
it.
incredible. I mean,
Well,
there's definitely something probably cathartic that I can't tell you that I've ever experienced any catharsis from it personally, but there's definitely something to telling these stories over and over again. I don't know if it's good for you. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's good to constantly relive all that stuff, but uh, yeah, and I do think that um, music as a medium is great, especially being a songwriter, singer, songwriter, writes or lyricist, uh, is good. But I actually don't think it's enough, and that's why all the visual stuff with the band is what it is, because I think I hit a wall where there was just there was more depth to what I was trying to get across, and there was only even as graphic as the lyrics may be, and as people are always like, stuff's kind of gnarly, man. I needed to do more. So implying like this visual art around everything was really important to me too.
No, I feel like it has to all come together
Yeah,
and
totally.
unfold. I feel like there's definitely a lot of more moving parts to what you do.
Mm.
Because you're dealing with a band, you're dealing with a group of people, you're dealing with all different aspects of
Huge
music.
crew, huge crew,
So it's
so
like
many people, and I love them all. I love them all.
so it's like a lot of working parts that you need for everything to like come to fruition,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess.
a lot to watch over. A lot of boxes to check,
A lot of
you know.
boxes to
And they
check.
all have different names, like Soren and Marie and Jade. Those are all the boxes to check, but they're all incredibly competent. So credit to them. You know what I mean? We're at a point now where I can pretty much just be like, this is what I think we should do, and then watch it just manifest because they're totally competent, totally capable of handling it, and they're also well versed in this whatever this thing we do is now. You know,
That's
it's
awesome.
awesome. I'm very grateful for that.
That's
Very grateful.
awesome.
They're all like I'm surrounded by incredible artists all the time. It's a dream come true.
It's definitely much more fun. I think that's why I created the podcast, was to surround myself with more
Yeah.
artistic people and to hear their points of view on everything, because I feel like it is very similar. There's a lot of overlaps
Mm-hmm.
that we don't always see with all different types of visual artists, singers, songwriters, fashion designers,
Yeah.
photographers,
Um,
videographers,
ton of them around. Yeah.
painters, illustrators, because I mainly do illustration, but I do paint, because all fine art kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of do.
Totally.
What do you feel is the most rewarding when it comes to your type of art?
I think completion of something that starts as an idea. That's just an idea. Um, I used to I used to say that when I'm visualizing something, or Sarah and I, who she co-writes a lot of the videos, will start with this visualization of what we think something is going to look like, or it could be anything from a photo or any type of visual aspect of what we do. It always starts with like this visualization, and then we're hoping that through all the steps that arrive, we land on actually making that thing manifest. And up until I'd say these last two music videos that we just did, we hit them. It was the first time we ever hit the mark. To me, that's the most rewarding thing, to take something that starts from zero, that does not exist in the world at all, um, and then watch it happen right in front of your eyes, like completion. And you see it, and you know that never existed before, and that came from our minds. And here it is in front of us now. Here's that set we built. You know what I mean? Here's that crazy gag or whatever horrifically violent horror thing we pulled off on screen. But whatever it is, it started as just an idea sitting in a living room somewhere. I used to say that albums when I was younger, um, that's something I wrote at my mother's kitchen table, and now it's a record. And to me, that's rewarding, which is maybe a little self-serving, but that's what I get out of
No,
it.
I feel like that makes sense. Like when you finally see a project come together,
Yeah,
right? I feel
yeah,
it is the same for me. The most rewarding is when I finish a
finish it.
piece,
Yeah,
but specifically when I finish the piece and I feel as though it came out the way I
yeah,
saw in my mind,
totally,
Like, I don't know if
totally.
it's the same for
It's
you.
exactly
Like,
the
you're
same.
like, "Oh, this is what I see in my mind.
It's exactly
I
the
hope this is how it turns out
same.
and it meets the mark."
Yep, 100%. Even with songs, with writing music, you have an idea how you want something to sound or how it's going to feel, and there's you would know this feeling well. You get close, like that was pretty close to what I was imagining, and then
Yeah.
there's those moments where it's like, no, this is exactly and better than what I thought it was going to be because now I'm looking at it or now I'm hearing it. To me, that's incredibly rewarding, and I'm kind of always chasing that now. You know?
Exactly. It's like some of my pieces I'm like, "Oh, this is like almost like what I saw in my head."
Yeah,
And then other pieces I'm like, "Wow, this came out way
way
better than
better
I
than I
have
thought.
even imagined."
Yeah,
And then it like, and then the people can actually tell. I feel like I've noticed with mine, at least, people could tell that it's actually, something that I was passionate about creating as well.
totally, totally. I think that the most feelable thing in art is authenticity. So I think that when people are looking at something, whether they're conscious that that's what they're recognizing, that's what it is. When somebody made something that wasn't motivated by trying to outdo something else or imitate something else, or it's just something that was completely organic. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if people are conscious that that's what they're feeling, but that's definitely like the number one thing to try to capture, right? Is like a super authentic idea that started from absolutely nothing, and then we get so used to hitting that like 95% there feeling, and then you every now and then you get that 110% feeling where it's even like you said, even better than you thought it was going to be. I think the only way you can do that is by chasing authentic ideas.
Yeah, you have to 100% be yourself and be authentic to yourself.
Yeah,
But is there any other, like, I guess, musicians or people that you draw inspiration from?
I don't. It's probably shocking to some people, but I don't listen to a lot of metal or a lot of heavy music anymore. I mean, I have, of course. I listen to my friends' bands. That's not true. Um, like the homies that are in bands,
Yeah.
I listen to all their stuff. You know, some really really awesome bands that I think are wildly underappreciated. Desolate Sun is a band that I have the privilege of playing with from time to time, and those guys are so good. They're so good. Like literally floor me every time. And I'd say that when I play with them, I get fired up. I get inspired. You know, I want to do a good job. I guess that's it. You know, Casey from band Deadlands. That's the homie. That band is incredible. You know, watching them perform live, mind blowing. Um, there's this band in Orange County, California, called Ozorn. Really like this band. I listen to a lot of blues music. I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of old blues music. Cause I like storytellers. You know, I like uh, I like lyricists who sort of have a beginning, middle, and end. Whether there's resolution in the story or not doesn't matter. But I like people who told real stories. I like that kind of stuff. So I listen to a lot of that kind of music. Um, musically, I mean, I can say that metal wise, hearing Corey Taylor as a kid, you know, Slipknot. I'm about that
Yeah.
age, you know, where not you know the
Hey,
'99
everybody likes Slipknot.
fire, so fire. I was a kid and I listened to heavy music, you know, Pantera and stuff like that growing up, but that was the first band that I heard that kind of vocal and ever tried to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I
I
was
mean,
like,
I've tried to do.
I think
Everybody's
everybody's
everybody's tried
tried
to
to
do
do
it.
it. I think everybody's tried to do it. If you like heavy music, you know, I certainly tried. I'm still trying to do
But
it.
what I noticed was when so I met Jonathan at a horror convention, the Long Island Horror
Yes,
Convention.
you did.
And I met a lot of the band members there. When I noticed that a lot of the band members walked up because of my Sid drawing
Yeah.
from Slipknot,
Oh,
that
he's
made me
all
happy
right.
because it's like I'm a big Slipknot fan. I'm big into metal.
Facts.
Because heavy metal music inspires a lot of my artwork.
I can
Of
see
course, it's
totally see
very
that. Yeah.
it's very noticeable.
Yeah.
But heavy
Comes
metal
right through.
music and like horror movies and that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
also, I feel like I make it so absurdly crazy that it's almost silly to a point for some things.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
if silly's what you're going
so
for,
much gore for no reason.
that's fine.
But I
We
feel
like
like it
gore
makes
around
things
here.
more fun. Exactly, we do love gore around here.
Yeah, I'm capping a little bit. I gotta say that Justin Ellison, our drummer, is the biggest Slipknot fan I've ever met in
Yeah.
the world. In the world, yeah, for sure. Like Slipknot was wildly influential to me, and probably, like I said, the reason why I started screaming was that '99, you know, self-titled record. I heard
Hmm.
that, and I was, you know, immediately joined a band at like 14 years old. You know, just hurting myself, screaming the wrong way and shit. But yeah, I mean, I think that I get more inspired, like you said, by film
By
at this
film.
age. Yeah, for sure. Like you know what I do like? I like film scores a lot.
Hmm.
I like I tend to download stuff like that more these days. I like artists like John Carpenter,
Hmm.
obviously. Rob Zombie. I think that comes through pretty easily. You know what I
Makes
mean?
sense.
A little on the nose maybe for what we do, but yeah, John Carpenter, Sam Raimi, Evil Dead, my favorite horror movie. It's the horror movie that made me want to be a filmmaker.
Oh yeah.
Was Evil Dead. Yeah, just a group of friends saying they're gonna make a movie. I was like, you could do that. You could just make a movie. You know, yeah, stuff like that.
That's kind of how everything starts though.
Of
It's
course.
like just a group of friends with an
Oh yeah,
idea.
I've always been the
Um
guy who's wildly untrained, you know, and wildly incompetent, and just said, I'm just gonna do it anyway. And if I don't know how to do it, I'll learn. Like, and I know that maybe that's arrogant, but like I've just if I need to learn something to accomplish something, then I just learn the thing. And if I need to get good at it, then I just invest the time to get good at it. Like maybe you know, I'm sure that's why people are a lot better than I am, but because they go to school for things like this. I
yeah.
just if I see something and I'm interested in it, I get pretty obsessive. I always have. So I'm gonna do that thing no one's gonna stop me kind of
No,
attitude.
that's a good way to be. I
Uh,
mean, you probably like right when we met, you probably noticed the same thing. Like
yeah, yeah, totally.
I do my thing. I'm always working. Like I
Yeah,
think I
you gotta
had everything
hustle.
scheduled.
Yeah,
That mentality is, I feel like, what's gonna kickstart anybody's careers. Like you have
totally.
to have the passion, you have to have the motivation to do what you do.
Yeah, without drive, you can't do anything. Nothing, nothing. You can be like
Nothing's gonna be working.
fair weather artist, you know, like when it suits your time or whatever. Like the thing about creating art is, it's hard. It's hard, and it's always going to be hard. But what's worth having if it doesn't take a tremendous amount of effort? All right, then everyone will
That's
do
true.
it.
I feel like it's more rewarding when it takes
Yeah, a long
longer. I mean, I've
time.
noticed all my stuff, my artwork that has taken me like longer has been the more rewarding pieces
Yeah,
that I have made, and have been the pieces that have gotten me the clientele and the people who have, finally noticed me more in the industry,
yeah.
stuff like that. Energy drink break.
Sorry, sorry, I was thirsty. I needed my
No,
beverage.
he's got an energy drink and I don't have one yet, so it's like I have
Oh, I'm
to.
sorry, bud.
No, it's all good. I had
Not bad.
pre-workout this morning, I know, not great, not
It's pretty much drugs.
great.
It works though, man. It works.
Hey, bucked up,
It works.
bucked up is good.
They just started making a protein soda. I've been drinking the bucked up protein
Is it
soda.
good?
It's really good. I had one last
Oh,
night.
which one?
After I saw you in the gym
What
last night, I
flavor is
grabbed
it?
one. It was like berry mixed wild berry or some shit.
Really?
Yeah, it's delicious. It's an excuse to drink soda, which I don't do. So
Yeah.
now I get to have a soda on the way home from the gym. Try it. It's good. Fire.
It might be better than having a Dr. Pepper then, because I have zero sugar Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper's good
Dr. Pepper's my favorite soda. That's why I get
though.
cases of zero sugar Dr. Pepper.
Sarah Manuelo is the Dr. Pepper drinker of the group, man. She loves Dr. Pepper and Baja Blast. Big
Yo,
soda
Mountain Dew
drinker.
Baja Blast.
Yeah, the Taco Bell
We talked
stop.
about the Taco
We
Bell.
did talk about the Taco Bell
We
stop.
talked about the Taco Bell. Only certain Taco Bells have the zero sugar Baja though.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I like the frozen one sometimes, man.
Oh my god.
Hot
I don't
blast.
have anything with sugar.
You know.
I
I
have no
know.
sugar.
I know. It's hard.
It's so hard. I have
It's
only
hard.
fake sugar now.
Once a month. Once a month, I'll do like something sugary.
I have nothing sugar.
Yeah, it's good.
Actually, maybe my cranberry juice has 1 gram of sugar.
Yeah. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, 1 gram of sugar. I don't even think that counts.
I don't even think that counts.
You gotta be careful with all
Like,
that fake sugar stuff
oh
too.
yeah, 100%. But that's a gym problem.
Honey, have honey. I use honey for everything.
Yeah, no,
Low,
that's good
low
actually.
glycemic. You know what I mean? I mix
Yeah,
honey in my coffee and stuff like that. Black coffee with honey.
I heard people doing the black
Do that
coffee
a
with the
lot.
honey, and honey is sugar, but like in a better natural way,
It's much
a
not.
hundred
Yeah,
percent.
it just doesn't
So
cause the same glycemic spike, which is why we're all avoiding sugar. You know what I mean? For the people who aren't gym rats, yeah, we're just avoiding that glycemic spike, and honey doesn't do that, so it doesn't do it as badly. So I'll have black coffee with honey, or I'll have a little drizzled honey in a protein shake in the morning and stuff like that.
that
And a
makes
lot of
sense.
the stuff that I do supplement with, which is not pre-workout, because I don't take pre-workout, uh, only because I get so reliant on it when I do, and then I need it to work out, and then I feel like a fat shit if I don't have it. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get off the couch. Um, yeah, some of the supplements I do take work
Mine's
a little
one or
better.
the other.
Yeah,
Like it's either pre-workout or an energy drink.
yeah. I mean, I'm
Like I
guilty.
try to.
Obviously, I'm guilty of the energy drinks. You know, I'm not gonna say unless
It's the
you
same
read it
thing because
already.
Ghost has 200 milligrams.
It's a lot of
It's the same
caffeine, man.
as, yeah.
It's hypertension in a can.
White Monster has less.
You know.
That's why I get the White Monster. So it's like either I'm having that or I'm having a
Yeah.
pre-workout.
Yeah, I feel like
What I
White
mean?
Monster just got cool too. Like everyone talks about the White
Yeah, see
Monster.
now
Like
it's
fad. It's like a
trending.
fad, right?
Now
Yeah,
it's like
it's trending.
trending, but it's like I've been there, done that. Like
Yeah,
I was that person in high
yeah,
school carrying a different Monster can every day. Like,
yeah, yeah.
uh,
High school and Monster. I had a relationship with Monster energy drinks in high school too. I was drinking a lot of
and
Monster
then I
energy.
stopped drinking energy drinks, and then when I started going back to the gym,
Yeah, got
as of recently, I
yeah.
started drinking energy drinks again
Oh,
because I'm like, I'm gonna be drinking them, might as well be using the
yeah,
energy
yeah,
they're gonna
for
give
sure,
me.
for sure.
What is the most rewarding thing when it comes to creating the art that you create?
I think the most rewarding thing for me is watching something come to fruition that starts as just an idea, right? Something that didn't exist at all up until you go through all of those crazy steps and invest all that time and all that work to make something happen. And then we were talking about before those moments where you're landing on like a 95%. I accomplished it. It almost looks exactly how I imagined this thing to look. I think the most rewarding thing, which has happened, I'd say the past with this most recent album that we're writing, and the past two music videos that we've produced, where you visualize something, where Sarah Manuel and I will sit down and we'll conceptualize a video with nothing, almost no paper, no notes or anything, kind of just the talking about it stage, getting all these crazy visuals in our head because that's how our brains work. And then, months later, after all the pieces are put into place, watching it actually look exactly how you imagined it was going to look through all the set building, all the character designs, all the wardrobe, everything. When it comes to, writing music, every little facet that goes into that, every little kind of sound we hide in there, every little feeling and character that we work into the music. To watch something hit that 100 and then sometimes the 110 mark where it's better than you thought it was going to be. All
Yeah,
right.
when it turns out way better than you ever thought it could.
Yeah, like you had a mark in your head and you were, arrogant enough to be like, that's the best that this could be is my idea. And then you end up being wrong. And with, other influences and things coming in, you go, wow, this is completely blown that out of proportion, like that out of the water entirely. And that comes from working with other artists and
No,
being open to doing that. You know what I mean? So bringing in cinematographers and people who have different things to bring to the table.
no, 100%. I feel as though that's the same when it comes to my work as well. Like some
Totally.
pieces, I'm like, oh, how is this going to turn out? Or like, I see this kind of idea in my head of how I want the piece to turn out. And sometimes it exceeds my expectations, and sometimes it doesn't exceed my expectations, but it comes almost as close
That
to how I
90,
see
that
it. That
95%.
95%, which I'm
Yeah,
still happy with.
yeah,
But when a piece is like way above my
yeah,
expectations and like amazing, better than I even thought it could be, that's when real like great work comes from me, I
yeah,
feel like.
yeah,
And especially working with other artists, you're bouncing ideas off of other artists and constantly surrounding yourself with like-minded, talented artists regardless of what art they create. I feel
yeah.
like is very important because obviously like metal music inspires me, so it's like important to
Mhm.
surround myself
And
with
art inspires
talented,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
The same
totally.
thing with you, right? Because you like
Visual art
visuals, yeah.
inspires me exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. I think that it's really important to engage with people, and I'm bad at that, and I was bad at that for years. I'm getting better at it now, where I'm chopping it up with people who I'm inspired by, other musicians, other artists from all different mediums, filmmakers, photographers, stuff like that. A lot of times I'll see something visual and it'll inspire. I guess it inspires a song. It ignites something, makes me want to write, makes me want to create. Seeing people create makes me want to create.
100%. Like me surrounding myself with artists who are very prolific
Mm,
helps a lot. So like my co-host Robert, like working with him and drawing on TikTok live or
yeah,
like
that's cool.
DMing each other like art cool artwork that we see on Instagram and stuff like that because we consume artwork on the daily. Him telling me that he's getting so many sales on his Etsy and stuff like that with all the stuff he does. It's very inspiring to see, and it definitely pushes me to become a better artist as well.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think we're constantly chasing the same thing, which is some sort of authenticity, right? And that's what's really inspiring is when you see somebody doing something that is them. It reminds you that you have things inside of you to offer to, and makes you want to kind of pound the pavement and get to it. Like we were talking about it before, how the hard work is everything, right? Like drive is everything. Um, I've never really been too comparative as far as like other artists, like looking at other artists and being comparative with myself. I don't care, not in like a cool way. I just don't have like I don't know, in more of like a self-loathing way, really. You know what I
You're
mean?
just like, well, comparison I feel like kills because
Yeah,
everybody's so different. Like
yeah,
that's like me saying I'm going to compare myself with someone who draws amazing colorful portraiture.
right, right.
Yeah, I'm going to compare myself with this
I'm
artist
just not
who
interested, right?
is, you know, 70, 80, or like who is in all these amazing gallery shows, who is double my age or
You're right.
whatever, who has been in the art scene longer. It's like, why would I compare myself to somebody like that when I can only compare myself to the person I was a few years ago and the artwork I created a few years ago.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And if I compare myself to the older version of myself, I know
Yeah.
that I have increased like my skill level as an artist,
You're just trying
as
to
a
outdo
person.
yourself, man. That's it, right? In
Right?
competition with yourself. Yeah,
Yeah, like
that's
you're only
100% true.
working on like how can I make a better song than I did the last time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you
How can
feel
I impress myself again, and then create something and be like, I hate it, and then
but
that's
you got to create shitty artwork
oh, it's a path.
to
Of
create
course,
better artwork.
that's
There's got to be
anything.
there's got to be some duds. There's got to be
Yeah,
some duds. You can't keep releasing bangers
of
every
course,
second.
man. You got to build some shitty shacks before you can build a mansion, for sure.
I like
You
that. I
know what
like
I
that
mean?
saying.
Like that's the way it goes. I just came up with that.
You heard it here. You got to build some shitty shacks before you make a mansion.
Yeah, yeah. It's practice in real time, right? I think that's all. That's all anything is practice in real time. You're just trying to get better, or just trying, like I said, just chase that authenticity. Just do what's inside of you to do, and try to be as happy with it as you possibly can by not pulling any punches and not compromising.
100%.
You know,
I want to ask another thing.
sure.
How was it getting shows on Long Island? Because being from Long
Mm,
Island, I've had an experience with showing my artwork as well.
yeah. So being an artist based out of Long Island, which we both are, uh, it was right. I mean, I don't think our experience was um typical, but we couldn't get shows when we first started on Long Island for shit. No one wanted anything to do with us for a while. I don't know if that was maybe the lyrical content. I don't know if it was that the visual stuff was kind of hokey, or rubbed people the wrong way. They didn't know how it was going to hit. I have no idea. But our first shows were all off Long Island for a while. It wasn't until we started kind of gaining some traction that people started hitting us up and have not stopped. And we get to play a lot of local shows here where we're from, which is really cool. Um, but yeah, it was a rough go. It was a rough go in the beginning. I don't think that I think Long Island has a cool scene, and I love playing the Long Island shows. I love the Long Island based bands. Um, it's just for me, it wasn't happening. I don't know. We couldn't make it happen in the beginning for a long
What did
time.
you notice? What areas, I guess, did you notice were more open to your kind of art, your music?
I think we started playing shows in like Jersey.
Oh, Jersey. Okay.
Yeah, doing stuff more in the boroughs, which is just off Long Island. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just seemed like for us, Long Island was kind of like this black hole, just for us. I think other bands do great. Um, we were doing stuff in Nyack, New York, um, things like that, like just short day trips. Just wherever they would take us, and
Yeah, I've noticed that my artwork for a while, for the longest time, I was only getting art shows in Brooklyn,
yeah,
Manhattan, Queens, like
kind of where you want to be anyway.
yeah.
You know?
That's all the art shows I was getting. And then it was like people were asking me, they're like, "Oh, when's the next time you're gonna be in Queens? When's the next time you're gonna be in
Yeah, yeah,
Brooklyn?"
totally.
Or asking that. I'm like, "Oh, well, it takes me a while to get there. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna take me more than a hot minute." And they're like, "Oh, wait, really?"
yeah, yeah,
Because it's almost like they expected me because I've done so many shows there because I've been,
yeah.
you know, or invited. Like somebody thought I was from Queens because I've
Right.
had so many shows in Queens at Canavita. I did
Cool.
shows at this dispensary,
Yeah, sick.
some art shows at this dispensary with like amazing people. Um, and this woman Katrina curated an amazing event, and I was like, people thought I was from there. And I'm
Okay.
like, oh, I'm not. And then it only recently started happening where more people on Long Island like wanted to see my work or
Yeah.
were interested. I just had to find that clientele. And I
Yeah.
think when I did the Long Island Convention of Horror and met you, I
Yeah.
feel like that's really what solidified like finding more people who like my kind of artwork.
For
You know what I
sure,
mean?
that is 100% both of our demographic, right?
Yeah.
The horror convention thing is cool. I am a big fan. I wouldn't. The thing about the band is like we wouldn't get an opportunity to really go to a lot of those things because we're so busy. So getting to play them is perfect. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We get to hang out and meet a bunch of really great artists. But yeah, I mean that demographic is obviously.
See, my thing is all like art shows, so it's like I have to do stuff like that. I
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
like try to get into
Oh,
that
I hear
scene
you.
more or tap into that market as well.
Yeah.
And then recently I got more serious gallery shows in Long Island, which I thought was very funny because I'm like dropping off my artwork. I'll never forget I was dropping off my artwork for a show in Port Jeff,
Right.
right? Like
Uh,
this friends and family Port Jeff Village Center show, right? And I was dropping off my artwork and they were like, "Oh, you have another event after this?" Like, "Oh wow, like you're doing a lot." And then all these older artists, amazing traditional artwork
yeah.
of like beach scenes and landscapes and like animal art, right? They're like, "So what's your thing after this? Like, what's your event after this?" I'm like, "Well, so I'm vending at the Long Island Convention of Horror." And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Where's your work again?" Like, because
Right.
they're like, "How is your work in this show?" Because
Right.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah,
very different
yeah,
kind of show. But then it's like I'm also vending at these crazy events, right? So it's like
yeah.
both. It's like my artwork's in galleries, but then it's like I do all these crazy sh- alternative kind of shows. And I sold my artwork at Amityville Music Hall as
Mhm.
well, which I thought was really cool and interesting. So that was a very fun
Yeah.
event and venue as well. But
Yeah, it's a good venue.
how was how was your experience with like venues on Long Island? Like what other venues did you
Uh,
typically like? Like what were your favorite venues on Long Island?
some of my favorite venues on Long Island are not around anymore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Revolution in Amityville was a really fun venue to play. The Emporium.
So a lot in Amityville you noticed a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you said AMH, and I to this day I love playing AMH. They take really good care of us there, and we always manage to put on a really good show there.
I
I
feel
just
like
like the
AMH
environment.
is just so welcoming. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah,
very chill,
yeah,
very
they're very cool.
welcoming.
They're very cool. I like to chop it up with the security guy when I get there. He's an older gentleman, really nice guy. He always gives me a big hug when I see him, and it's fun. I like seeing the bartenders again. Like we've played there enough times to where we have a rapport with them. I like AMH City Sound Studios. We've played a lot. I believe that's in Ronkonkoma, New York.
Hmm.
So that venue's great. There's not a whole lot of stuff going on venue wise. We are doing something. Mr. Beery's, I think it's a bar. So just curious to see how we do at a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
we're
don't
gonna.
know. We'll see.
I'm excited. I'm excited to do it. I'm grateful to be playing it. But I have it in my phone. I don't remember exactly what town that's in, but that's a Long Island show. Um, that's really it. I mean, a lot of the venues on Long Island, they kind of stick to the cover band thing. That they
Hmm.
really like the ACD cover bands and stuff like that, ACDC cover bands, and But yeah, it feels kind of limited out here, so you have to travel, obviously. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Otherwise, what
I
are you going to
completely
be? A
understand.
local band? Like, what do you know what I mean? What are you
Yeah,
gonna?
no, I completely
Which is
understand
fine.
that. It's like now it's like I realize that you
Yeah,
have to travel a little bit to achieve your goals because it's like everybody's
yeah.
further away.
Well,
Like
that's also the only way that we make any money. You know what I mean? Like Spotify's not paying a ton of money for our downloads and things like that, and we make all our money through playing shows and merch sales. That's why our merchandise is cool. That's why we got the trick or treat motherfucker shirts. Can I curse on here? I can curse on here,
yeah, of
right? Like,
course you can. I mean, I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say no.
uh,
I feel like that's fine, especially given that a lot of different artists are like
yeah,
I have a bunch of
uh,
alternative people on the show, you know what I mean?
no,
Like
yeah,
trying to build that community
yeah.
because
Let's go.
especially because there's not a lot of us,
Hmm.
I feel, where we are. Or at least I've noticed. I see the same few recurring people.
Yeah, they're the ones that stand out, right? The
Yeah,
ones
they're
that,
the
all
ones
right,
that stand out 100%.
totally.
That's why people recognize me at the gym or wherever.
It's always fun.
um, but another question I wanted to ask was, what advice would you give to younger people in your field? So younger musicians, filmmakers, lyricists.
Um, just do it. Don't ever wait to feel ready, and certainly don't wait for someone to validate you and tell you that you're ready. If you want to do something, just go for it. Like I was saying before, like I've always felt like I'm like so a little bit of imposter syndrome, right? Like wildly incompetent, and just decided like, oh, I'm just gonna do that. Like I'm not gonna go to film school. I'm just gonna learn. And I have all the resources in the world. We have the internet. So if I really need to learn how to do something and you want to accomplish it, just do it. That's my advice.
That is true. Utilize the internet to your
Yeah,
advantage and stuff like that. That's what I've been trying to do
yeah.
as of recently.
Instead of watching TikTok videos of cats and shit, you know what I mean? Like there's so much, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But
Well, I watch TikTok videos because I'm
of
making
cats,
TikTok videos.
they're of
You
cats though,
you
right?
know, huh?
Yeah, they're of cats though, right? You're watching cat
I
TikTok
get
videos.
gym content, I get
Okay,
art content
all right,
on
cool.
mine. So at least it's hopefully it's like the stuff that's relative to what
Yeah,
I do
yeah. I
because
watch a lot of horror content.
yeah,
Not on
that makes
TikTok and like on IG and stuff like that. I'll admit that. So I see some pretty cool stuff. And really, really getting sick of seeing all the AI stuff though.
yeah, me
Grinds
same.
killing me. Cannot stand it.
When
That could start a whole
when other
conversation.
bands, yeah, when other bands use
Yeah, I'm not.
when other bands use AI artwork instead of hiring an artist or illustrator, I'm like, really?
Dude, I try to never throw shade at other bands. I try,
Because I don't throw shade at any other artists or any other bands, but if
but
you're
the
using
AI thing,
AI all the time,
yeah, I can't fuck with you, man. I can't. If you're doing the AI thing, I can't. It's just that's like a hard line in the
I
sand
know
for me.
that some people use like AI to make their t-shirts.
Yeah, not cool. Because why
Your
is
merch should be
it
you.
should be you? Why are we letting AI do the fun stuff? Create art, the stuff that we're supposed to be doing. Can't AI do the dangerous jobs? Can't AI do something that we don't need to do or want to do? Instead, it's making art. It's making music. It's literally making soulless content and spitting it out. And we're letting it happen. And we're like watching ourselves gradually become obsolete because there is a market for that. There are people who don't care.
I'm like, if someone sends me a reference photo
Yeah.
and it's AI, I'm
Yeah.
like, I could
Yeah.
just make you something new. Like you
Yeah.
could use whatever ideas you
Yeah.
want. Like it's
Uh,
my job. I feel like it's my job for you to give me an idea of
yeah.
something and me to come up with a way to
Yeah. I agree.
illustrate
I
it, like
completely agree.
a way to portray it in a way that's like everything you want and more.
Totally. People can use the argument that AI is a tool and whatever.
It can be a tool when used correctly,
But if
but
it's the final product when something's getting produced and
it
it
shouldn't
is an
be.
AI final product, like that's what is that? That that's nothing. That's soulless garbage.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
shouldn't be the final
and it's
product.
everywhere. It's everywhere. Like every time I open Instagram and I see something cool, and it's getting harder to see. Not for me because I got a fucking keen eye for that. But at this point, but yeah, it's definitely like a thing that really bothers me in the art community is the AI stuff.
Or my parents sending me AI things.
Well, they don't know, right? They don't know that it's AI.
They're sending me AI. They're
Look at
like,
this
"Oh, why
grandma
don't you
doing a
draw something
backflip.
like this? Why don't you
Yeah,
draw
yeah.
something like?"
Oh, that's
I'm like,
different.
that's
Forgivable. It's
you
your
know, that's
parents.
not. And he's like, "Oh, my bad." My dad's like, "Oh my," or my
Oh,
mom's like, "Oh, I didn't,"
at least they
She's like, "Oh, I
apologize.
know."
My mother would be like, "What's AI?" They don't even know. Mm.
Yeah, my mom doesn't even. I'm not sure if she knows or she doesn't half the time, but when it comes to AI, but it's like so they just push it out so much right now
Yeah,
that
of
it's
course.
just consuming everybody's life,
Yeah,
and I feel like
it's
everybody thinks
destroying
they
the
could just make
environment.
whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, we can go on and on about AI
That
forever.
is true.
Like we're gonna go off on an AI tangent, which is worthy of a
Which is
tangent for sure.
it's definitely worthy to go a little bit
Yeah.
on about an AI tangent here on the podcast,
Uh,
because it is an art podcast.
yeah, it's facts. And let
So
it be stated that I am anti AI. I'll hard line in the sand, like I said.
and everybody that I interview on the Painted Loud podcast, or everybody that I like to talk with, are people who are really, really unique and authentic to themselves, because I feel as though that is like the main goal of creating in general, is to be authentic to yourself and to know yourself. And I've interviewed a lot of people because it's like all these people I have met have brought very important things to the table. Like you, like Mark, you guys are a lot you have the similar aesthetic or vibe with your artwork that I have a
Cool.
similar vibe to your artwork
Yeah,
and Mark's
definitely,
artwork.
definitely.
So it's like having you guys on the podcast really I'm really glad about, because it's hard for, I feel like, people with our aesthetic or that
Mm.
kind of art form that we do and we create. It's hard for people to understand it, or it can
Oh,
be
totally,
a little bit
totally.
um what's it called, like overlooked.
Yeah, or misconstrued as something
Yeah,
else, right? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
people
I
thinking
know
you're
that when I met,
aggressive and mean person just because
oh,
you
the
know.
stereotype because we like skulls and blood and stuff like that. I'm a vegetarian. I wouldn't hurt an animal, let alone, you know what I mean? Trying to be as anti-violent at this phase in my life as possible. Though, if I'm conveying something in my lyrics that is violent, or in my imagery that is violent, it's art, right? Like I'm creating something, like trying to express something. There are people who express those things in much worse ways, right? But yeah, I think the moment that I met Mark, I was wildly impressed, and you as well, at that con. And it's funny because when you meet like-minded artists, you almost naturally gravitate towards each other, right? There's all these
Yes.
people around, but then there's a group of people that kind of have the same little it factor thing going on, like whatever that weird energy is. And I think I attribute that to authenticity being one of the highest vibrating frequencies, and then being able to see something that just has, a lot of tattoo artists have that, right? They have their
Yeah,
look. It's you can go get the same traditional piece from two different people, but it won't look the same. Or you
100%.
can get the copy and paste tattoo artists, right? Which exists. There's tons of that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that, but it's not the same thing. We're not doing the same thing, you know. But yeah, Mark's dope. That's cool that you get an
That's
interview
what
with
I
him.
mean. It's like all you guys and people who do like alternative kind of music or art
Yeah,
and stuff like that. It's just nice to meet other like-minded
yeah,
individuals. Given that I feel like people, or from my personal experience, I feel like people have doubted me um, at different points in my life, whether it be in college or
yeah.
high school, in the art field, or like just because of my subject matter when I got older and I started to hone in on my like style and my subject matter that I like to deal with because I like to juxtapose life and death. Like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like people are very off put to it
Uh,
sometimes.
that comes with the territory, man.
But
That's the way it goes. You're finding yourself as an
you
artist.
learned how to get over it, right? Clearly.
Yeah,
Clearly you don't care
totally,
now, and clearly now you have a whole following.
totally don't care. I think no, I do think that there's um a little bit to do with not caring. You know, like I was saying with the origin of the band, like
Yeah.
I never started this with intention for it to do anything. I didn't care. It was literally just something I was going to do because I needed to do it. Where it's gone from there, I didn't foresee. Um, I just I needed it, and it was serving me at the time. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I'm serving it, and there's this flow back and forth. You know what I mean? It was about 2 years in where I turned to Lawrence and I said, "We're going to be the biggest fucking band in the world," and I don't think I have a say in it anymore. Like that's what happened, pretty much. I think that I just never cared. I not that I didn't care in like I said, like I'm a cool in a cool guy. I don't care way. I just had other stuff going on, and this is what I was doing all on its own, or it was doing to me to deal with that. If that makes sense, you know. And now here we are. So it's cool, and I'm very grateful for the following, and I'm very grateful that we get to do this and meet all these amazing people and meeting other amazing artists. That's probably one of the most rewarding things about what we do is meeting like-minded people and getting inspired by them, and just there's something so contagious about that, right? Like
Yeah, like
surrounding yourself.
meeting somebody who walks up to my artwork because they're like,
Yeah,
they
they get
feel
it.
like it's speaking to them.
Yeah, they get it. Yeah,
And
totally.
it's very nice when that happens because there's also some people who like walk away, or they're like, oh,
It's
that's the
okay.
kind of artwork you make. You
It's
know what I
okay. It's not.
mean?
It's not
So
for
it's
them.
like,
It's not for
well,
them.
that's what I mean. I'm
Yeah.
like, I've noticed that. Or have you noticed that people judge you off the rip? Like right off the rip,
Um.
or like notice you
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure they do. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Not that they tell me about per se, but
but they look at you like, who's this guy?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, I think in my personal life, I guess I'm kind of laid back. I mean, I do a lot of gnarly stuff, like sports and fun stuff. You know what I mean? Like I surf and stuff like
oh,
that.
you surf.
Yeah, I stay pretty like you know. I
I wouldn't have pegged you as a surfer.
really
Yeah, not
blonde
at
hair,
all.
and blue eyes.
I guess
Uh,
that makes sense. Did you have
yeah,
long hair back in the day?
I did.
Of course.
I
Oh,
did
there
have
we
long. I
go.
had
There we
very long
go.
long hair down to right here
Oh
back in
yeah.
the day. Yeah, I'm growing it out now too. So we'll see how that goes. Just out of pure laziness, I'm growing it out. Just tired of getting haircuts. But yeah, do people judge me? I think so. I think that they probably have this preconceived notion about what a person who makes the type of art that I make would be like.
100%.
Um, I also think that people think I must walk around my house screaming in that death growl voice all day long. I don't. I'm actually pretty calm. I have a little black cat. I have another cat named Oni. Like that kind of guy. I watch a lot of films. I like to read a lot, and I like to create art. That's really what it is. I think that
I have a black cat
do
too.
you?
Yes.
Gangster,
I have a black
gangster.
cat named Salem.
Salem.
Very on the nose, but
I have a black cat named Herman, like
Herman.
Herman Munster. Yeah, yeah. I have another cat named Oni. So I
Oni,
like some
yeah.
Japanese
Yeah, I was
Japanese
like
culture.
Japanese Oni's mask.
Totally.
Yep.
She's a gangster. Herman's a sweetheart. Oni's a gangster.
Yeah.
Oni's like the super violent one. They're like both sides of my personality existing
Salem's a
in
girl cat.
Salem's a girl cat. Cool.
Yep, she's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, girl cats can be a lot. I have one girl and one boy. Yeah.
She's younger too, so she's like
Oh, crazy.
crazy. She's just
Crazy.
running
Yeah.
around the house like a menace.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Dude,
Love her though.
of course.
All of her stuff is like coffin, black and red,
Yeah, that's
spider web. Yeah, it's
my
like everything's that aesthetic in her little corner.
my
It's
whole
like my
home
house
is
looks
like
so
that.
like. It's like my house looks so put together though.
Right.
Like it's like
And it's
a mom
juxtaposed by all this.
created it and decorated
All
it.
right.
Like it looks so like clean aesthetic, and
Yeah.
then all the decor is like
That's funny.
creepy.
That's funny.
So it looks like such a nice home, and then it's all like creepy decor everywhere.
Um,
Or all my paintings, like my huge, massive paintings on the wall everywhere. It's like
right.
just so much stuff on the wall, like OD amount.
I am quite the opposite. My house looks like Halloween threw up in it.
Yeah.
Like Halloween and Uchikatsu threw up all over the place. It's surrounded by horror stuff, and then Herman is a piece of the decor at this point because he's the black cat with the
Yeah.
orange collar who runs around. You know.
Yeah, I feel like mine's like it looks like it was a normal house
Right.
that just got overrun
Yeah.
by
That's cool.
creepy stuff. Like
That's cool. Well,
it's
that's how
all
it
like it's
starts.
all like white
Yeah.
and gray,
Yeah.
and then everything else is
Around it.
like everything else is like, skulls, coffin, like little tiny things.
All morbid shit all over the place. Yeah.
But my room's the craziest with it's like an art student mixed with metal,
Cool.
right? So it's like all Van Gogh posters and stuff, and then Slipknot, Black Veil Bride. It's
Classic.
like all that kind of stuff. I got a Slipknot mask in the
Classic.
corner of my room,
No,
Purge mask
I
on the
get it.
wall.
I've turned my house into my teenage bedroom. The whole house is a giant teenage bed. It's kind of
But I
embarrassing.
feel like that feels better when you walk into it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And if
it's
it looked
creating my own
boring or
little
there was
piece.
nothing else, if it was too plain
Yeah,
and clean
yeah.
looking, like visually, like very black, white, gray,
Oh,
like
I can't
not
stand
that
that.
much stuff
I
on
like
the
old
wall,
stuff. I like old
antique
things.
stuff.
I like old like vintage furniture and stuff like that. My house looks like Captain Spaulding's Museum of Monsters and Mad Men. There's just
Yeah,
stuff everywhere, but organized, and it looks cool. At least I think it looks cool. Lots of like colored lighting and stuff like that. Old stuff. I like
100%.
old like Louisiana culture stuff like that.
Yeah.
Big gardens, lots of plants, stuff like that. Places that are nice to sit and read or write and create stuff like that. I like to make my environment conducive to my
My
artwork.
environment, every room in my house is a different art.
There you go. That's
It's like
perfect.
one's framing
That's perfect.
section, one's like I was learning how to tattoo on fake
No, that's
skins,
sick.
one's like a bunch of spray paint in the corner.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
every
totally.
different type of artwork outlet is like everywhere.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of like a musician keeping a guitar in every room because you don't know when inspiration's gonna hit. So you have to have the guitar to
That
pick up.
is so true. I
Yeah,
feel like you never know when inspiration's gonna hit. I feel
yeah,
like just consuming different arts on the daily just inspire me to do more in
yeah,
general.
totally.
Which is definitely why I created the podcast, was to inspire more people to talk about like the process of making art and to get them more open to talking about art in general.
Hmm.
I don't know about you being a singer and everything, but as a visual artist, especially being an illustrator or a painter, I've noticed they tend to be the most shy.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like they tend to be
I
very
can
shy,
I can see that.
quiet to themselves.
Mhm.
And I was like that actually for a majority of my life. I didn't talk at all.
Really?
I would just sit in the corner. I got the worst grades when I was younger in participation because I wouldn't raise my hand, I wouldn't
Yeah.
talk, I wouldn't speak.
Well, maybe you had a lot going on internally, and now it's all
I would
coming
just
out.
sit in the corner and like draw. Like, my parents didn't
Yeah,
even know I was there half the time. They're like, "We
yeah,
just gave you crayons and a piece of paper, and we like completely forgot you were there for a second."
yeah. No,
And
yeah, I
that's
was
how I
that kid too,
was
for sure.
until I got older and realized that if I don't talk about my artwork, nobody's gonna know
Yeah,
that I love to create it. And I don't know if you
yeah,
ever came to that realization that if you didn't talk about what you're doing or your next, thing you're working on, that people wouldn't
yeah.
know.
I think that there's no shortage of brilliant artists that we'll never hear about because they are in their bedroom, and I know a few of them, and I think I had to get better at that as I got older, because it's not really natural for me to be a front man. It's maybe a skill that I've kind of got figured out at this point. And I wouldn't even say figured out. It's something
You
that
just
like,
learned over time.
yeah, it's like a work in
You
progress,
try.
right?
You just keep trying every day to get better, right?
Yeah, and I think that being a singer and frontman of a band requires a little bit of, I guess they would call it charisma. I don't know. But I think that I can fall back on that. I know that I trust and believe in the art that I create. So that's all the confidence that I need. You know what I mean? Um, I
I've
know.
noticed that too. Like
Yeah,
I believe in my
yeah,
artwork, so it's like
that's good.
I could trust
I'm good
that.
now.
Like
I don't need to fake it to
I'm
make
like
it
my
anymore.
personality is what it is. Like
Right.
that's part of the package. Like when
Yeah.
you meet me, this is what you're this is the art you're
Yeah.
getting. This is who I am. This is how I act.
Yeah. And you have all these other representations of yourself around you. If someone wants to see a deeper version of you that than just a conversation, they could look at something you created. I think that's a clearer lens into who you are than words could do,
100%.
right?
Yeah, my artwork kind of speaks for itself, but then it's like I've done like artist interviews and stuff like that, and it's people learning the process behind my artwork.
Hmm.
I feel like people learn more about like the medium and stuff like that, because it could be like anything, but people when they meet me in person, they're shocked, I guess, with how friendly and outgoing I am,
Right,
given
because
that's
the
my
artwork
artwork.
is so
Yeah.
morbid. Yeah, I get
But
that.
I feel like the nicest people are the people that create stuff like us. I feel
Well,
like I've met so many nice
I think
and
there's
friendly
science
people.
behind that, right? I
Yeah.
think I think that we tend to lean into what some people may repress. So there's not a whole lot of room. Like, for example, if you hit a punching bag every day, say you're a boxer or a mixed martial artist, and you train, that guy's not walking around angry. He hits stuff all day long. The guy who gets up on stage and screams all day long, he's not going to be yelling at his friends and yelling at people in traffic much. You know what I mean? I think everybody has some sort of morbid fascination or interest in what we do. I think that we just lean in so heavy that we're kind of letting the art that we create sort of gives the monster that everyone has something to chew on. Does that make sense? Like,
I like that.
we
I
all
like
have
that
something,
idea.
right? Everyone, what we're creating, I think, is in everybody, whether they're shy away from it or they're uncomfortable with it or whatever. I think that we create something that feeds that part of everyone. You know, the morbid stuff, the horror stuff. I think horror fans in general. I think horror fans are the most fanatical fans in the world because we all get that. Um, you could trace back. I mean, that's not the stuff that scares us, right? It's real life stuff that's scary. It's
Yeah.
it's it's there's a lot of horror
I
in the
was
world.
just talking about this with Mark.
Oh yeah, interesting.
He was saying that the world is so scary, like the stuff that
Yeah,
we make is like nothing.
nothing,
You know
nothing.
what I mean?
If anything, it's like exposure therapy, right? We're just showing you something to maybe make your fight or flight a little less. I mean, that's why horror fans gravitate towards horror so much, right? It's almost like we're playing with our fight and flight all the time, fight or flight all the time. We're hyper exposing ourselves to things. A lot of people who like horror come from backgrounds of trauma and things like that. It's almost like putting the horror in front of you that you can control, because that feels better than the horror that you can't, right?
Guess that makes sense. Yeah, I never thought about that way. That's such a good way of putting it.
I don't know if I'm right. I'm just spitballing.
Just spitballing. No, but I mean, like it is true because it's like the creepy horror stuff. I feel like it just really it is therapeutic. I don't think
Yeah,
people
that's totally.
realize that it's like
I
there's
think
so
so.
much worse things happening in the world,
Yeah,
and it's
of
stressful
course.
to even think about everything that's happening in the world. That's why I create what I do
Yeah,
because it's not like it's easy, but it's like wow, I'm creating all this crazy stuff. Like not everybody wants to see it. What's crazy is this isn't even the scariest thing in the world right now.
yeah. I think the more you expose yourself to the horror stuff and the creepy stuff, it starts to feel like home. to us. Like horror is extremely nostalgic for me. I grew up on 80s slashers movies
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So that stuff feels like maybe watching Disney movies, which I also like, feels to some people. You know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
that's my home. I like that stuff. And when I had an opportunity to create something with the band that I was going to have a visual aspect of, I wanted to tell a story. And I actually think that the lyrical content of the songs is was putting people off a little bit. I think it was
Yeah.
so gnarly that people didn't really know how to digest it so much. So by dressing it in this sort of familiar horror aesthetic, um, it made it more palatable to the audience.
Mhm.
Um, it made the shows more fun,
Yeah.
which I didn't know that I cared about until I did it. If that makes sense, right? I didn't.
Well,
I didn't.
creating art's supposed to be fun. I feel
Yeah,
like I've
yeah,
made it to I'm at the point where it's like it's got to be fun. I got to make
yeah. I
it, or I
mean,
got to make
why
it
else
fun.
do it? I
If
guess.
it's not that fun of an idea, how can I make that fun?
Yeah,
So
totally.
everything, any art venture that I'm doing, it's like how can I make that fun for me?
Mm,
How can I make that enjoyable? How can I make that my style?
yeah, hell yeah.
Um, and it's like now it's like I've just noticed that you know, doing the artwork that I create, it's just been so much better than if I were to do artwork that other people wanted me to do.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like
That ain't
just like the
happening,
stuff
player.
that they, you know what I mean? Or like doing something that's dialed down. And it's nice that people come to me specifically asking for stuff that
You
is
know,
in my wheelhouse
now you
now.
have an identifiable style, and right. So it's like I said, like going back to a tattoo artist. You go to that tattoo artist because of their style, and when they you present them with an idea, and they go, "Well, I think you should try this. You should probably take that advice." Right? They've devoted their life to understanding this
Exactly.
particular type of
A hundred
composition,
percent.
and they is it possible that they may know better than you? I would think so, right? So, I think that's what being an artist, that's one of the milestones, right? Is developing an identifiable style that is like Sierra Gomez, like that is that style of art, right?
And having fun.
And having fun, I guess, is
Because
important too.
I feel like my most memorable times in my life have been like concerts I've been to.
Yeah,
Like I feel like those are the most memorable times in my life.
right.
Like going to concerts, specifically like seeing concerts with my dad and sister or seeing concerts with my best friend.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, of course.
the recurring thing. Or one really cool thing was like my dad like knew of Slipknot and stuff like that like growing up.
Your dad's cool.
And he knew of Slipknot and everything. But he was like, "Oh my god, I remember like hearing them, all this stuff. I never got to see them though." And then
Mm.
I was like, "Can we see Slipknot? Can we see Slipknot?" So me, him, and my sister went to like a Slipknot concert together.
Was it the Knot Fest?
Uh,
Was it the shirt you're
yeah, it
wearing
was
right
not fast.
now?
Yeah,
Uh huh.
so it was like going to Slipknot concert was them was awesome, and it's
Cool.
like my dad bringing me and my sister to see ACDC
Cool.
um in Massachusetts, and he was like, "Oh my god, this is awesome," because he like wasn't sure he'd ever get to see ACDC live,
Yeah.
let alone with his two
Got to share
kids.
it with you guys. Yeah, that's
And
incredible.
then just seeing like Black Velvet Brides with my friend Nikki.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um she worked at the haunted house, like
I know Nikki.
most of your members
I
worked
know
at the
Nikki.
haunted house, right?
Hmm.
So it's like going to see Black Veil Brides with her,
Hmm.
and I went to a Slipknot concert with her. She
Very
wanted to
cool.
see Knocked Loose,
Cool.
so we saw the
Cool.
25th anniversary. She loves Knocked Loose. I like Slipknot, so we both went.
Met in the
And
middle and
and
got
and I
yeah.
actually started to like Knocked Loose. I think she started to like Slipknot
There you
more. You
go.
know what I mean? Like
There
we
you go.
got each other to like each other's different
Yeah,
thing
you put each other on.
because even though we have the same taste in music, almost we still have different
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
dislikes and
totally.
likes. But my most memorable times in my life have definitely been concerts and stuff like that because between the music and the visuals and the like crowd and
Hmm.
just like the fun, like I guess celebratory aspects of it, I feel like that's like what makes it so enjoyable.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think music is what creates memories, right? Life needs a soundtrack. So
Life needs a
you
soundtrack.
know, you show up to these concerts and you remember those times we were there. You remember the smells. I mean, I have those experiences too, of course. Um, Going to rock shows with friends growing up, and then being like, I'm gonna do that someday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about. I think I get the same thing from seeing films with friends too. I get the same thing from going to the horror cons, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but or my brain is just weird. But sometimes I walk around like the haunted house, for example, and I'll just see the way a room or a set is lit, and it's almost like I wish I could take a photograph with my eyes of just the way that that feels, and whatever like vibrational thing is happening in that. Like I love it, and then my brain goes, now how does that sound? And then I want to make that into a song, which doesn't, I know, pretty much makes no sense, but it's just that's what it's all about. Creating songs that are memories, right? Like taking that feeling you have when you go to a concert with your dad. Like, what is that feeling? And then how do you capture that and through a medium, through an artistic medium? That's what creating art is to me. Is literally taking something that didn't exist before and making it exist.
Do
Right.
you feel do you feel like you feel the same way when you get when you're on stage as you would be in the audience? It's another question. I feel like
That's a good question.
because I know what it's like to be like super hype to like
Yeah,
be in
totally.
the crowd, but like it's probably different when you're on stage. Is it like more nerve-wracking? Are you like
Um,
do you get energetic because of the crowd? Like
yeah, well, we definitely feed off of them for sure. It's also our job to kind of start the feed, though. It's the energy that we bring to it, and then the way that they react is this give and take back and forth. I do still get a little nervous sometimes, and
yeah.
I think I'd probably stop if I ever stopped getting nervous. Um, but
Well, you
yeah,
getting nervous is probably that you care.
yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, I want
Me, I've gotten less nervous about my art shows,
to,
but that's because it's like if you don't like me, take it or leave it. That's kind of my
yeah,
energy right
that's
now.
another way to be for sure.
But, you know, I noticed a difference in like being a part of gallery versus like when I live painted.
Hmm.
Like I did a live painting event and that was like it's not just my artwork.
Yeah, they're watching you
They're
work.
watching
Yeah,
me. And
yeah,
I'm like, wow, this is like different,
that's more similar to what I do,
right? So
right?
I feel like the live painting was similar to what you do. It's like, yeah, you could show them your song and they could listen to it like perfectly,
Right.
like
Yeah. Or
audio,
they can watch it in real time.
or they could watch it in real time.
Happen.
But then
Yeah.
I'm like, then they're watching everything going on. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm kind of nervous them watching me paint,
Yeah.
because it's like it was weird to like try to forget that there's a crowd
Hmm.
and feel like I'm just creating my art in my bedroom,
Yeah,
if that
totally.
makes
Totally.
sense.
I do the same thing, despite the fact that I do a minimal amount of crowd work and interact with them. There's a part of me that is, I'm just going to do the thing. And you're all here to be privy to that. Um, I've never been one of those people that really cares too much if they're going crazy. I don't care if they stand with their arms crossed and watch. I don't. I'm here to do the thing that we made. You know. Um, that was a really good question. Do I feel the same watching artist as I do being the artist on stage? No, it's two totally different feelings.
That's what I feel like. Yeah,
Totally
it's
different
different
feelings.
when I'm at a gallery show for
Yeah.
somebody else
Yeah.
versus me at the gallery show,
Yeah.
or like me looking at someone painting like online or watching
Right.
somebody paint live or
Right.
whatever versus me painting live. I feel like it's very nerve-wracking for me painting live because it's not just my artwork now,
Yeah.
because it's my artwork, it's my personality, it's
Yeah.
my
Yeah. It's a
interactions
lot
with the
more on display
audience as
now. Yeah.
well. It's like it's my interaction with an audience, but I'm in the middle of doing something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely get that. I think that I try my best to just focus on the thing that I'm doing and not really let that stuff come into the forefront of my mind too much. I notice it though when I get off stage, I immediately switch into like show watcher. Well, that's why I love watching my friends' bands play. Um, we ever well as a musician, I think there's a pretty universal feeling that you go, let's say you go to a concert and you watch a band that you love play, an amazing performance. The first thing you want to do is perform. I love performing. I love getting on stage. I love rocking these
Yeah.
shows. I love singing these songs. You know, as hard as they are sometimes for some of the songs, given their subject matter to get through, I love performing the songs. Um, and watching other people perform, whether it even be music or not, it could be watching a painter paint. I immediately want to go do my thing now. That's the feeling.
Because they inspire you, I guess, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
comes
Or
back
I'm
to
just
their
jealous. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, inspired sounds better.
I feel like I get more inspired when I'm watching other people like live paint or do more gallery shows. I'm like,
Yeah,
I gotta do that, or like let me
yeah,
look into that show, or
yeah,
like let me try to
yeah.
do this
Or hey,
new
I do
thing.
that too. I want to go do. When's my
More of
turn?
that.
Yeah.
Or
When's
I notice when a lot of artists start pumping out more artwork or they're doing a series and it's like, oh, I always wanted to do a series. Why didn't I start that series?
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Like,
That's being inspired.
and then like it was like I always wanted to make this series of like creepy, like kind of creatures in ink because I
Dope.
loved how my original ink piece with all my creatures came out, but I wanted
Yeah.
to make a series of singles. And I did it for school. You know, I
Yeah.
chose that as my assignment because
Cool.
we had a personal assignment we're allowed to pick. I'm like, this is what I want to do. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. As long as you get it done, you work this amount of hours on it, and you get more than one piece done because it's a series, then
Yeah.
you're good.
Cool.
And I made that my project because I knew that was something I wanted to do in my spare time that I just didn't have the time for. And now it was giving me the excuse to make the time
Oh,
for it.
yeah, totally. That's
You know what I
like
mean?
going back to the thing like the horror cons for us. Like we have an excuse to go do the thing that we wanted to do anyway.
Like you wanted to go to the horror con, but now you're like, oh, we're doing it
Because
because for business.
it's work. Yeah.
It's work.
Yeah.
We're supposed to.
That's true. We probably wouldn't have had time to do it otherwise. So best case scenario.
I didn't have time to do the Long Island Horror Convention. I was only there one day
I know. I noticed you
because
were only there
I
one day.
had to work the other days, but
Yeah.
somehow I happened to have that one Friday off. So I was like, you know what? I have to do it.
Mhm.
No matter how tired I am,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to do this one Friday because this is the only opportunity I'm going to get.
Yeah.
And I was so glad I took that opportunity because I wouldn't have met so many amazing people who like the same artwork as me and so many people who were receptive to the kind of artwork I
Yeah.
do and like reach out to me or like
I'm
my
glad you did
posts,
well there.
comments and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's the same for you. It's like it's seeing the people that like get excited to see you back.
Yeah. I like meeting those people. They're
Because
cool.
it fuels your
Yeah.
projects.
Yeah, and it's just it's nice to interact with our kind of, right? It's nice to even I think they stuck you right in front of Coney Island Saucery while you
Yeah,
were there, right? Guys, that guy's dope. Like,
he's awesome. Yeah.
he's just great conversationalist. It was fun, and then we headlined the show later that night, so all those people that I watched them, the band and I, we got to watch them do their thing and display their art, whether it be anything from like t-shirt designs and or all the way down to slate coffee. What are those things called? The coasters. Just all this interesting stuff, all this really cool stuff. And at the end of the night, a bunch of them come back into our performance, and then we get to do our thing back. And it was like we get to pay you back. You got to show us all your dope shit. Now we get to show you us. So it's cool. Like what other environment is like that, where you literally you're gonna play a rock and roll show, but you're gonna do it in front of exclusively artists, right? Like you're gonna
Yeah, that
like
is
how cool
cool.
is that? Like
Yeah,
and
other people who are like really gonna like
yeah,
listen
and
and think
understand what
about
you're
all of
doing
it.
there. I mean, I'm playing shows and hanging out with kids, actors from movies I grew up watching as a kid, and now these are the people that I'm performing in front of. Now that could either make me nervous or make me really excited, and I tend to get more really excited to do something like that. I just think that these people stand a chance of really grasping what we're trying to do. You know, they got
100%.
skin in the game. They know what it's like. That's an awesome show. That is like best case scenario. We got to hang out and do a bunch of cool horror shit all day. We got to meet a bunch of awesome people, tattoo artists, all over, tons of different people. The most eclectic environment that you could possibly go into.
Hmm.
And then at the end of the night, we get to end the night by performing for all those people. That's like best case scenario for a band like us. At least for me. I'm not speaking for the whole band, but
But like for you personally,
I very
you
much
you liked
enjoy
it.
the horror cons. Yeah, that's super fun for me.
I do. I hope I can do more
I got to
horror
meet Mark. I
conventions.
got to meet Mark.
You got to meet Mark,
I never
yeah.
would have met Mark if it was for that.
He does his setup is insane, by the
Yeah,
way. His setup is insane. Mine's very like minimal setup. Like I
yeah,
keep it very like clean, like neat, not many things
yeah.
visually. He has
He's
so much,
got a
but he
lot.
has so much work
He's got a
because it's
lot.
like
Yeah,
years and years of like the buildup of like all this different type of work that
yeah.
he has created, like
We
so
got
many
some
different
prints
bodies
from
of
him.
work. You got some prints from him?
Yeah, and then he did a portrait of the juggler, clown
Oh,
girl. Yeah, which is
clown girl.
amazing, amazing. Said, can I draw you? And it was very cool.
He had a whole series of clown
Yeah,
girls, I
yeah,
think,
yeah.
or
He had
whatnot, like
very
zombie
cool.
girls,
Well,
clown
our clown
girls.
girls are kind of like zombie girls, right? They all
Yeah,
have like
yeah,
razor sharp teeth and all
yeah.
spooky,
Sure.
and scary and shit. Yeah,
Clown
that's
girl to a
cool.
whole nother level.
I think having a minimal table setup is good. We have a crazy setup, um, just to draw eyes. It's more of like a business move, and I just
Yeah.
like crazy shit. I like, visual stuff.
It's funny. It's like for how edgy I am with
You
all
would
this
think you would
stuff,
have
you would think I'd have like
a
crazy
lot more.
masks and
Yeah,
stuff, but it's really like I just have my artwork on
that's
stands.
good. It stands
I have
stands alone.
everything black, white, and red.
Yeah,
I
I
have
thought it
like
was
a
good.
skull bowl
Hmm.
and like business card holder, like and all this crazy stuff, but it's very I guess it's very neat to the point where it's very
Yeah,
businessy.
that's good. It looks very
Because
professional.
that's what I mean. I feel like I'm like the mix between it's like I like
Yeah,
all this horror stuff and I like the creepy stuff. I want it to be
it's
crazy,
perfect. You're
but
doing
it's like I,
you're
I
doing
want it
good.
all neat, out, organized, and I'm
No.
like trying to like organize it, size order my prints
It
and
kind of stands
stuff like
out.
that.
It stands out, in an environment like we show up literally looking like a fucking freak show. You know what I mean? It's insane looking. In the horrorcore, our friends, the horrorcore, the film company,
Yeah,
they're right next to us. Their setup is enormous. They're all in crazy costume. You know what I
yeah.
mean? All the stuff is insane. And then there's you look over and there's this nice, organized art booth with everything there, but all the subject matter is exactly this. It's horror.
It's all
Yeah.
horror, but it's all
So in a
like
way, it's a good thing.
organized in size order. And then they're
Yeah.
like looking at the prints. And they're like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, it's blood splatter on the outside."
Yeah. And then we got the hot sauce homie right across from
Hot
us. You
sauce.
know what I mean? With his pita bread, little samples,
Yeah,
delicious, awesome. I
it
think
it was such a fun event.
it was a very fun event. I had a very good time doing that. Yeah.
But was there anything else you wanted to say to the audience of the Painted Loud podcast? I wanted to say, is there anything else you wanted to say or you wanted to plug your band and stuff like that where you could follow, where you could see more of your work so people can
Yeah.
listen to your music?
Um, I would say follow us. We're probably the most active on our Instagram account,
Okay.
as far as like contacting us and interacting with some of the visual stuff that we put out. A lot of it starts there. Um, you can download our music on any streaming platform. We're everywhere. We have a couple of live dates coming up. I'd have to look in my phone really quick, but I can tell where they are. Actually, this isn't going to be edited for a while, right? Because some of the stuff
Yeah.
is unreleased, but I think it will probably be released by the time uh, you get this out. 719 is that Beery's bar in
Hmm.
Bethpage I was telling you about. Uh, August 13th will be announced soon. That's in Brooklyn. That is, I could probably talk about it. That is the Horror 365 company who we just did the Jason event where we were in Pennsylvania. That was an amazing horror con.
Awesome.
Amazing. It was like 3 haunted houses, and it was the film set of the movie Hell House LLC.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we got to perform there, which was great. Meet a bunch of people who grew up watching. Um, the actor who played Tommy Jarvis was there. It was pretty cool. Jason from Friday 13th Part 6.
That's awesome.
I don't really get starstruck much from like musicians at this point, but when I meet those guys, I'm like, that's cool. Like
That is cool, yeah.
that's really cool. Yeah, but the Horror 365 is hosting something called the Summerween Party that we're going to be headlining. That is August 13th in Brooklyn, and that's not announced yet, but it will be announced. And then August 15th, we're doing Moongroove Fest, which is really cool. Bunch of really great bands on top of that. And then there's something floating around for August too, either 7th or 8th that I still have in the works. So August is a big month for us for people who want to see us live. This is for the Long Island people because we were talking about Long Island
Yeah.
before. Yeah, that's 3 shows in Long Island and one in Brooklyn. Uh, and then for the rest of the summer, we're putting all of our energy into finishing our album, Violencia, which is our second album. Depths was the first record that came out 3 years ago. Um, and right from wrapping that record, we started writing the second record, which is very different, much heavier and much darker. 2 songs of that. Um, the Burning of the Witch has a music video out now. The single that came out for that, um, and we've been playing Rubberneck live, which is the next single that we actually just wrapped production on a music video for. So that's probably the most exciting thing to tell people
Awesome.
about is we just wrapped production on our 7th music video for a single called Rubberneck off the Violencia album, and it's the first music video where we're going to show you the actual inside of the freak show. It is I don't want to give too much away, but it's it's a carnival. It's a freak show. It's exactly what we have been talking about this whole time, and it
Awesome.
takes place a long time ago. So you're kind of getting a little bit of an origin story. So when you see some of the crazy clown characters that we have running around on stage, whether ripping their scalps off or eating somebody or something like that, you get an opportunity to see what they were before the lore of the band turned them into the form that you get on stage. You know, all that lore stuff is all tied to reality in its own way. It's just my way of sort of, blending the truth, fact, and fiction a little bit. But yeah, this music video, we just wrapped production on it with our friends, the Horrorcore Film Company, who are amazing. They make short films.
Awesome.
I've actually been in a few of their short
Oh,
films.
you
I
have?
have, yeah. Uh, I'm a bad actor, but I am an actor, I guess. I could say that now.
I
Um,
feel like I would be a bad actor because I
I don't know.
can't can't pretend.
You would think it would be pretty adjacent to being like a singer and a front man, but it's different. I have a lot of respect for actors, and I've always wanted to be able to do it. Uh, so given the opportunity, I'm always like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll jump in and I'll play a killer in a mask, which I just gave away the role that I may have played in a horrorcore film. But yeah, those guys, Justin Baranello and his team, they're amazing, and they just did our most recent music video with me. Uh, so that's what I was talking about before, about reaching out to other artists instead of doing everything so in house. Reaching out to like Mike Miola,
You
the
need a
owner of
whole
Dark
team.
Side. Yeah,
Yeah.
just utilizing all these people that you have in your corner to create these
No,
things.
that was an awesome haunted house to be a part of, like Dark Side. It
Yeah, I'm
was
so
really
glad you had a good
cool.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah, I'm
had an
glad you
awesome
came.
time. It
Yeah,
was not the best day
yeah.
to be vending because I was like
The
the only
wind was a
vendor.
nightmare. I do remember
Yeah,
that. I
it was
remember
like the
that.
worst day to vend, but I did it
Sarah felt
anyway.
terrible. She was saying that literally a couple of days ago. She's like, I remember her vending and the wind blowing everything all over the place. Yeah, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere out there. That's a good thing to plug. Come see us at Dark Side Haunted House for sure. A lot of my crew works there. Mike,
100%.
Miola, and I, we share that crew at this
My
point.
friends work at Darkside Haunted House. I mean,
Yeah,
I know so many people
uh,
at Darkside.
Dark Side seems to be like the almost like the jumping point for a lot of the stuff that we do. That started.
Yeah, I'm shocked I didn't work there at one point.
I'm surprised you haven't. When I meet somebody who's like minded like us, I'm like, you worked at Dark Side, right?
Right?
And
You like automatically assume.
yeah, that relationship started because I did the commercials for the haunted house a few years ago,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
that's awesome.
just like writing and directing commercials for the business, and then it was kind of one of those situations like when I got my foot in the door, I didn't want to leave. And now I obviously work with the haunted house, and then we shot a music video there, which is Skeletons and Me. That's the other thing too. You can watch all of our music videos for free on YouTube. There's a bunch
On
of them.
YouTube. Awesome.
Yeah, we like making those. I like making those. I like forcing everybody to make those.
Now, what's your Instagram and the band's Instagram? Just reiterate it for everybody to give you a
So
follow.
my Instagram is just Jonathan Rosario, uh, Rosario. I'm not super active on it. I do try to be, but the band's Instagram is where you can definitely contact us, and that is just Uchikatsu official. Uchikatsu is Uchikatsu official. There we kind of that's where you're going to hear everything first. So if we have something coming out, whether it be like a visual thing or a
Perfect.
music thing,
Awesome.
IG we're very active. We're not very active on the Facebook, but we have one.
So you've heard
That
it here. A lot of people are more active on Instagram than Facebook. Same goes for me and a
Yeah,
lot of other artists.
well, we
That's what
are.
I've
Yeah,
noticed.
yeah, yeah. I just
I have a Facebook. I don't use it much, but I have the Instagram and TikTok primarily. But
I do try to answer the Facebook messages. I do
you
try
do.
to stay on top of that kind of stuff. It's harder.
It is
We're
harder.
really good with the Instagram.
I
If
feel
you
like the Instagram is much easier, palatable.
totally, and if you send us a message on Instagram, we'll get back to you. We meet a lot of cool people that way, and we get a lot of shows and stuff like that. People come out and ask us to play, find out about events. You know, so yeah, Instagram, YouTube, stuff like that.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you so much, Jonathan, for coming out and being on the Painted Loud podcast. I want to say thank you guys so much for listening. Check out his music. It's really dope. And I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks for having me.